welcome to Limited Time Only.
The podcast for anyone who feels there aren't enough hours in their life.
Limited Time Only is a mix of chat, comedy sketches and interviews with interesting people.
We hope that we will make you smile, laugh and feel a bit brighter about the whole life, death and everything in between malarkey.
Essentially, we're dissecting the human condition, just using a rubber chicken rather than a scalpel.
I'm Esther.
And I'm Susie.
And this is Limited Time Only.
This week it's time for physical challenges. I like to move it.
Today we're thinking about physical challenges. Esther, I wondered if you had any challenges that have come to mind that you've overcome, or you've set yourself and you've achieved over the years.
Nope.
And that's the end of the podcast.
Achieved? No, I'm one of those people that start something, is really passionate about it for about 2 weeks, and then it just slowly fades out of my life.
Right.
I've started Couch to 5K many times and really enjoyed it. And then, although one time it wasn't my fault, I got sort of 5 or 6 weeks in and really noticed a difference in my body and how I felt. And then something went in my calf muscle, and so then I didn't continue. And then I've started like yoga challenges and stuff like that. But I find it hard to build them into my daily life. I did, because I have hypothyroidism and autoimmune things. I have been told to go paleo quite a few times, and I have done that. And when I've cut sugar out of my life, oh my goodness, the transformation instantly.
Ooh.
Once I did it, and I cut sugar out for 10 days and my waist reduced by 4 inches.
Oh, what?
I know.
In 10 days?
In 10 days, yeah.
You should be doing a sort of Instagram stories about this, and
I should,
selling it.
Yeah. Selling
yourself.
Yeah, selling myself. Yeah. But yeah, so obviously my body doesn't like sugar. But I'm not very good at sticking to challenges. I have to have a purpose. I have to have a reason to do it. Otherwise I don't stick to stuff. What about you, Suze?
Well, I was just thinking about the sugar thing, and I did try juice diet once, because I was going on holiday. I wanted to be beach body ready.
Oh, for God's sake.
I know.
But we all do it. It's ridiculous.
Was, 2007. So I got the stuff, spirulina and things that looked like kind of bog water, things that smelt like bog water, and I put it all together in the little mixing thing, and I made this juice, which I had to sort of gag down because it was absolutely disgusting. And I was going off to work that day, so I drank the juice, didn't have any other breakfast. I got to work, there was tea, there were biscuits, had a cup of tea, had 16 biscuits, and because I was so hungry.
But that's it, isn't it?
I ate more biscuits than I would have normally eaten in 2 days.
Yeah.
In the space of 5 seconds, because I couldn't stand it any longer. So it was a complete waste of time and had exactly the opposite effect to what it was meant to. So I gave up on that. So the spirulina is still in the cupboard. And it's things like, right, I'm not going to drink. I'm going to go out. I'm not going to drink because I've got to I've got to be compos mentis tomorrow, and it's 3 a.m. and Susie's on the table and she's had 6 bottles of wine.
Oh, well, you're talking my language there. I'm not a big drinker at home. I'll maybe have like a glass of wine when we're cooking dinner occasionally, like a few nights a week. And I'll probably only ever have a maximum of 2. But if you stick me in a social situation, something takes over and I just become very... I mean, we went away with friends in October, and I thought we had rented this house with all the kids and everything. And I thought I'll probably be in bed by about 12. No, there I was at 4 o'clock in the morning going, let's not bother going to bed. I'm going to go for a swim. It's fine. I'll be fine. Everyone going, Esther, you can't go swimming at 4 o'clock in the morning and you've had a lot of alcohol. But if I'm in the right frame of mind, oh my God, I was on the pool table.
Yes.
And I want to soak it all up. I don't want to go to bed when I'm in that kind of situation.
I'm the same.
And sometimes I don't necessarily need the alcohol. I don't think, but I'm better now I'm older at recognising when I've had enough. I remember we went to Paris, didn't we, a few years ago to a
Yes.
concert? Very glamorous, and it was very glamorous. And one day, listener, we'll have to tell you about it, because I still have to pinch myself that it actually happened, because it seems like some kind of surreal dream. But anyway, we were in Paris, and I remember we'd been to the concert, went back to the hotel, and there was a big old gang of us, and I went to order a whiskey, and I remember as it touched my lips, I thought, if you drink this, you are going to regret this night for the rest of your life.
Oh,
and
no,
even though I was
for the rest
quite
of your
merry,
life?
well, just I know I'm going to say stupid things, and I think I
right.
did say some stupid things, but not as stupid as it could have been. And you know,
Not
when you're thinking,
catastrophic.
yeah, and sort of, oh, I could potentially black out after it. So I've got to the point now, whereas when I was younger, I wasn't like that at all. I would just push on through and then just get myself into a bit of a, you know, and I can't bear a hangover.
Oh, it's awful.
It's so awful.
Such a waste of a day.
Oh, and they're so horrendous as you get older.
Oh, yeah.
But there's been a couple of times I've done something that's really a bit naughty.
Oh.
At two occasions I can think of where there's been free drinks. I mean, this is naughty. And I've been with a group of friends and I've gone, these are free.
Yeah.
So if we would like to have more than one, I've gone round and I've put my lips on the glasses, so it's put lipstick on them, so people don't touch no one
them.
will touch them, so that we can have them. So I've squirreled away. I've only done that twice, and I have been merry when I've done it, and I've been like, come on, let's all put lipstick on these and then we get free drinks. Does that make me a really despicable person?
I think it makes you incredibly clever.
Oh, do you?
I mean, that
like
I
some
would
genius.
never have thought of doing that.
It's a bit naughty though, isn't it? I feel
very
quite
clever.
bad saying it, but I was there going, hey guys, right, we can save shitloads of money and then take another one and we'll just put them down in a corner and then people will come over and go, that can't be mine, there's lipstick on it. Oh, that's really bad, isn't it?
And then there's a group in one other corner going, why haven't I got a drink?
And why are all that lot over there? Absolutely off their faces.
There's a lot of people wearing lipstick at this party.
It is pretty bad.
I do struggle with not eating not like a whole packet of biscuits. I never eat a whole packet of biscuits or something, but if it's a big chocolate bar or a packet of a licorice all sorts or something.
Yeah. God.
I do love a licorice all sorts, and I did buy a packet just this week, and I thought I'm not going to eat them all in one sitting, but I did, and I felt absolutely dreadful.
Yeah.
I felt so sick, but I couldn't stop.
I'm exactly the same.
Couldn't stop.
I don't know what that is. I cannot. If I buy a packet of fruit pastels or some, I don't tend to buy licorice all sorts, but I do like just licorice or strawberry licorice. I can't, or a bar of whole nut or whatever.
Yeah, just can't stop.
I can't leave it alone. I know so many people who will have a bit and then leave it on their desk or whatever, and I'm like, how are you doing that?
Can't be Envision.
How is it sitting there for like weeks and you're just having a bit a day? If you give me that, I'm literally going to face plant into it and inhale the lot within the hour. And then I'm going to feel really sick, or I'm going to get halfway through, think I feel really ill, give it 10 minutes and then go back to it.
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't. Some people are more susceptible than others, aren't they?
Yeah,
but I've got a feeling
definitely
that
am.
you and I might be that sort of
Damaged individual.
But it's that slightly addictive personality.
Yeah.
So if I go out and say I'm only going to have one drink, I'm not. I'm going to have 10.
Yeah.
Or if there's an opportunity to stay out till 3 a.m, yes. Oh, there's a whole packet of licorice all sorts. I'll just shove that in.
Something I did do, which is very Freudian, is I used to take tins of condensed milk out of the kitchen and take them up to the attic and drink them when I was about 13.
Why is that Freudian?
Because my mother had just died and I was taking sweet milk to the attic.
Oh, Esther.
And now I think, maybe that was wanting some sort of connection or something, because the attic and it's like something from a novel, isn't it?
Goodness.
She used to take the sweet milk to the attic and drink it.
Oh my
So I think that might be quite a Freudian thing. I think that might have been something else going on.
That's amazing. Yes, that's
Something quite sort of psychological, maybe.
Yes.
Or maybe I just like sugar.
Maybe that. I mean, yes.
And I was being really sneaky.
Dangerous drinking from a tin? Were you putting it in a glass?
No, straight out the tin.
Goodness me.
Yeah.
That's what I'm more worried about.
Like some addict.
Oh.
We interrupt this programme with a YouBash. A new world record was set today for the least number of lunges completed in one lifetime. The number was 0. I am very proud of myself. Goodbye.
Other challenges I've been thinking about are things like trying to get my kids out of the house in the morning, or getting my 3-year-old to brush his teeth. It's like that's a physical challenge. It's physical. It's challenging emotionally, mentally. It sort of wrecks me for the day.
Oh God!
And it's only 7:30 in the morning.
Yes.
Things like that, and getting out of bed. You know, when you've said to yourself, "I'm going to get out of bed this morning and do something." Got to do something, and then no.
Do you know? I think for me, I'm dreadful at going to bed and getting out of bed, and I think it's because there's part of me that is still slightly a rebellious teen in my head and think I don't actually have to do this if I don't want to. So there's almost like a nighttime rebellion. I want to go to bed early. I know I'm good for nothing if I'm in bed after about 10:30. So I know I need to go to bed early, but I still sort of think, oh, I could watch something, or I could do this because I'm allowed to, because no one's telling me not to. So I don't know if it's like a rebellion.
Yeah.
In the mornings, if the phone isn't next to the bed, I can get up quite easily. I always turn my phone off before I go to bed. But you see, now I wake up and I wordle instantly.
Oh, gosh.
And then I'm sort of stuck in bed and I can't be bothered to get up.
For however long it takes you to guess the word.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm pretty good at wordle.
Oh, I've given up that. I've given it up.
Oh, have you? Yeah. Sometimes I dream about what the word's going to be.
And is it the correct dream?
Sometimes it's really close. And sometimes I think I've got it in 3 times.
Wow.
And,
I've done it once, I think. Done that
have
once.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a complete fluke.
Well, it's just mad, isn't it? But I wake up and I wordle, and then I think, don't check the Instagram, and then I do check the Instagram,
yes,
and then
it's the pull.
And then I don't want to. Then I'm like, oh, this is interesting. Look at this story, and then
15
I'm
minutes
in the
has gone
wormhole,
by, and you're late.
And then I think, oh, I can't be bothered to crack on. So, but are you rubbish at getting up in the morning?
Power. I often go to bed too late, but I don't think it's a rebellion. I think it's purely, I've got some time. Nobody's bothering me. And I'll just do that, because if I do that now, I don't have to do it tomorrow. I'll just finish that off. And then my husband's often watching something on his I don't know, things like Taskmaster or Graham Norton.
Oh yeah.
Graham Norton on his phone, and I can't help but I'm trying to read or something, settle myself down. And
in bed he's watching that. Next to you.
So I'm like,
okay,
looking over. Oh yeah, look, it's Tom Hiddleston. I'll have a quick peek. And then in the morning, I'm too tired. And I just I think, I'll get up and go for a run. And then I just give my son the iPad, and then we're done. And then I'm still in bed.
You went through a phase, didn't you, of doing yoga first thing every morning? Do you still do that?
No. I'm sorry about this, guys, because I was so evangelical about it. No, I don't. And I still do it. I still do yoga, but not generally. In fact, the last time I did it, it was in the morning when the kids were watching the iPad again. I just grew to feel guilty about them being on the iPad every morning while I was doing that. I think if I'm going to do it, I really would have to get up much earlier. And I'm working up. But I can't, I don't feel like I can justify doing it every morning.
Have you noticed a difference in how you feel now you've stopped doing it?
I think I'm doing other things that are beneficial.
Yeah.
Generally, I feel a lot better than I did at the end of last year. So when we made the first season, I was doing yoga every morning, and we were coming out of third lockdown and that sort of thing, and life wasn't so busy, actually, was it? It was building up to being more normal and busier. I feel like it's I'm almost back to peak busy.
Yes, yeah.
So I'm finding that I'm getting energy and well-being from different things now, and I have started running, because I had noticed that I wasn't. In the past, I've always been very active and very into sport and running and the gym and swimming, but after having children and time going on and not being able to go and do that stuff, not having the freedom to just do it whenever I want to, I've sort of lost the drive to do it. And I think my calf injury at the end of last year because I wasn't able to play netball for sure, and I certainly wasn't even able to walk for 2 weeks, and I wasn't doing anything like running on stuff for like 6 to 8 weeks, and I kind of lost the urge. I used to have this kind of oh my goodness, I have to go for a run now drive to get out, but I'd lost it, and I suddenly became very conscious of that. I thought, oh no, if that's gone, if that urge to exercise leaves me, then I'm in trouble, because I could just not bother exercising, and then I'm just going to atrophy and then die. So it went that route. It was that extreme.
Yes. Catastrophic thinking in its glory.
And it was that I thought, God, it's going to be 20 years' time and I won't have exercised, and then that's it. So I have started running again, and I'm really enjoying it. And
Good.
And I listen to podcasts or radio drama. When I don't listen to music, I listen to something that really makes me concentrate on what I'm listening to. So I sort of forget that I'm actually, in physical pain. No, I'm not. I would stop if I was in pain. But it kind of takes my mind off the fact that I'm, doing something that is quite hard, and I'm building my fitness. But because I'm hooked into whatever I'm listening to, yeah, it's great.
I think that's key, isn't it? Because if ever I run on my own, I can't do it. I'm bored and I go, oh, that's probably enough. I'll walk for a bit now.
Yeah.
But if I do Couch to 5K, I've got Sarah Millican and some banging tunes. And then every so often she's sort of telling me how well I've done Pet. And I love that. And that's good. But the one time I found I ran really well was I've done Race for Life a couple of times. And I find running in a group really helpful, where I sort of give up quite quick, not give up, but sort of like, oh, is it nearly time to stop when I'm running on my own? When I'm in a group, I can just keep going.
Yeah.
And when I was at school, I was good at cross country. I couldn't run a short race to save my life. I don't know what it is about my legs. They don't move at speed. They do not move at speed. They just, I was saying about my hips or something. I just can't get quickly.
Yeah. I can't get quick.
I can't get quick. You can't get thicker than a quick fit Esther or something. I was so slow in school races. So at primary school, how most kids win something, never won a thing.
Oh,
I was always last. But stick me in a cross country, I got stamina. So that should go on my Tinder if ever I split up from my husband.
I've got
stamina and I'm hypermobile. No, that would bring out the weirdos, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can run distances, but it seems to be if I'm in a team, that really spurs me on. I'm not bored then with running, that is.
Yes.
So I can completely understand how listening to a podcast or listening to a story, you're sort of, the running almost becomes secondary then, doesn't it? You're just in another world.
Yes.
It's like in a flow state almost.
Yes, it's really good. Time passes much quicker. Well, in terms of, you don't want to sort of miss your life and miss the run, but I'm enjoying the feeling of running and being outside and still seeing what's around me. But the bit of my brain that's going to go, no, oh, come on, this is too far now. How long have you been going? Oh, it's really hard, isn't it? Oh, come on, you're going to be hurting tomorrow. That's just gone because I'm focusing so hard on the words. And I'm also trying to do, my new mantra is 1 pull-up a day. Because I can't do pull-ups.
Your daughter told me this. Told me this, that you were going to do that. And we've got a post up in in one of our doorways.
Yes,
and I said a couple of years ago I was doing that.
Yeah, because I do it in the play, if it's bars in the playground or wherever I can find something that I can pull myself up. I mean, I can manage one. But I think if I manage one, I'll be able to manage 2 in a few weeks.
Of course you will.
And then I'll be able to join the RAF. So
I can't manage one at all. I can't. Do you know what I said actually it was a few years ago. I was going to be able to do the splits because, as I say, I'm hypermobile, so I should be able to do the splits fairly easily. I was going to be able to do a pull-up, but I have never in my life managed to do a press-up. I don't know what it is.
Maybe your technique's wrong.
I think it is, and I've had some like fitness people show, and they've said there's something I'm doing wrong, and they can't quite fathom out why it's not working.
Can't work it out.
Because and my husband's tried to show me as well, but if I do it like against a cupboard upright, I can do it, or like leaning slightly at an angle. But if you put me on the floor, I can't do it. And everyone's like, but your arms are wrong, but they can't work out why.
Oh,
but
well, I'd like to have a look next time we're together. Because there's different ways of doing it.
Yeah, I just, I don't know what it is. I think I can't quite get the technique right.
Okay.
And I must be, I mean, I know I'm heavy of breast, but I must be able to.
It's completely, you cannot push yourself up because your breasts are too heavy.
Yeah, they're not actually that heavy. But I must be able to do it. Of course I can do it. Yes. But I've never found a way. Maybe I'm going to set myself a challenge by the end of 2022, I can do a press up, a pull up, and the splits.
Well, I think you could set yourself a challenge to do more than one press up and pull up.
Oh, yes. I
say
can.
10.
Why don't we say like 50? Let's go big. Because I'm going to be like, yeah, there's no real challenge here. And I'll probably give up once I've got. But maybe we should say, I'm going to write this down.
50? I mean, I really could join the Marines if I could do
50 press-ups. I mean, I'm talking like over a month.
Okay, so that over a month.
No, 50 No, I'm joking. Like one a day or two.
I see what you
mean.
Yeah,
50 press-ups. Or is that ridiculously high?
No, but by the end of the year.
Yeah. Okay. 50 press-ups. I mean, I may never talk about this again. I could just say I've done it.
I have to tell you, I can do 20 now.
So then 50's fine.
You're going to do it. You're going to do it.
Yes, 50 press-ups, the splits, and I think pull-ups are going to be harder.
Well, pull-ups
10,
are really, yeah. I'm aiming
10
for 10
pull-ups. I'm going to aim for 10.
Would you? Okay, well, look, I'll set myself. I'm going to do a challenge because I've been enjoying running.
Yes.
I'm going to set myself a challenge. I've been thinking about this. So you've given me the catalyst.
Okay.
I'm enjoying running, and I am going to set myself the challenge of doing a 10k run. I know there's one near me on I don't know. It's in a few weeks.
Yes.
So I'm going to do it.
I need a challenge. I need
You need
a destination.
Purpose. Yes, me too.
I need something to be aiming for. Otherwise, I just won't do it. It's like I wouldn't go out and have an hour-long walk every day if I didn't have a dog. It would just slip down my list of priorities. But if you've got a purpose, then you get up and do it, don't you?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm just going to be a badass in the next couple of months.
I'm just going to be, I don't know, Joe
Forrest
Wicks.
Gump.
Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump, Joe Wicks matter.
Forrest Gump, but instead of a box of chocolates, it's a bag of licorice all sorts.
Bag of licorice all sorts.
Life is like a bag of licorice all sorts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Let's do it.
Oh, Esther, I haven't got any ideas for this week's show. I feel completely uninspired.
Sure.
Esther, what are you stuffing into your mouth?
A bit of Lady Macbeth for inspiration.
You're eating the works of Shakespeare?
No, I'm eating a delicious bar of Lady Macbeth dark orange chocolate from Sweet Theatre. I've just finished off Alice in Wonderland. Even the artwork on the packaging is beautiful.
Is it helping?
Indeed it is. Here, have a little nibble on Oscar Wilde. That one's gin and tonic flavour.
Yum. Have you got any more?
Um.
Esther, have you eaten all the Sweet Theatre chocolate?
Should I exit stage left?
Yeah, I think you should.
Sweet Theatre. Chocolate with drama. Available online at sweettheatre.com and in participating theatres. If Esther hasn't eaten it all.
Hi, I'm health and wellbeing expert Lindsay, and I'm here today to tell you that whilst you may feel fat and unattractive and wibbly-wobbly, that I too, unbelievably, was once in your position. You'll be surprised to hear that I once tipped the scales at 9.5 stone and was a borderline size 12. I changed my body by changing my outlook, by thinking about how I move physically, how I ate mindfully, and how I felt spiritually. This is not a diet. There is no dieting involved. You just need to make a few small tweaks to your everyday meals, and it's all incredibly achievable. I don't eat dairy, I don't eat gluten, and I don't eat refined sugar. I don't eat fructose, I don't eat grains, and I don't eat any vegetables from below the ground on a Monday, Wednesday or Friday, any day that Coronation Street is on. I only drink water that has been boiled 6 times in a Morville Meheritage copper stew pan with lid, stainless, from Harrods. And I only allow myself to get excited on a Sunday between the hours of 12 and 2 p.m. All of this is incredibly achievable by changing your diet in these small ways. If you want to begin your weight loss journey with me today, then you can join my club entitled Becoming a Massive Loser with Lindsay, which retails at $1199.99 per month. So join me, Lindsay, today. And remember, it's not a diet, it's a way of life.
I love a good podcast. And when I find one I really like, I tell everyone I know about it. I grab my phone and I share the podcast with everyone in my address book. And then I post about the podcast on social media. Then I rate and review the podcast. And then I have a warm feeling inside for the rest of the day. Just saying. I hope you're enjoying this episode of Limited Time Only. I know I am. Now, where's my phone?
Esther.
Yo.
Hello, welcome. Welcome to your own podcast.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. It's always an honour.
And this, a brand new quiz.
Very excited.
I'm glad you said that. This is the inaugural round of Commonwealth Games or Commonplace Shames. Okay?
Yes, I'm ready.
It makes complete sense already without me even explaining it, obviously.
Yeah.
So this quiz it's brand new and it is about unusual sports.
Oh, I'm a bit rubbish with sport, but...
Don't worry.
Okay.
I don't know if I would even class any of these as sports, but apparently they are.
Okay.
And they are played around the world. So what I'm going to do is give you the names of some unusual sports.
Okay.
And you have to tell me whether they are real or not.
Okay.
True or false.
True or false? Okay.
True sport or false sport.
Okay.
And if you get it right, you get a do 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 do. And if you get it wrong, you get a you cannot be serious. Which is my impression of John McEnroe.
To be honest, it was like he was in the room or across the airwaves.
Well, yes, he did offer his services, but I said, don't worry, John. I know you're busy. I've got a headband. I can stand in. Okay, so here we go with the first round of Commonwealth Games or Commonplace Shames. Number 1, Esther, is extreme ironing true or false?
I would not win at this. I do not like ironing.
No, nor do I. I leave it until my mum comes to visit. So
do
usually
you?
It only gets done every 6 months. She loves
That
it.
is really interesting. So what do you wear? Have you just got a really extensive wardrobe and then...
I don't iron stuff.
I don't iron. I don't iron. I just try and hang everything out, or I just figure it'll drop out as the day goes on.
Yeah, I don't even notice them. It's only if it's a shirt or something, or I don't know, something linen that would need ironing. But then I only wear it once a year, so...
Yeah. No, I don't iron. If
So I
I can
wouldn't
help.
play
Apart
this
from the
sport.
kids' uniforms, I iron that, and then everything else can't be
they're a
asked.
bit bigger.
Life's too short. I have
too
this
short.
mantra: life is too short to iron a tablecloth. So if you come for lunch at my house and it's a fancy lunch, the tablecloth won't be ironed.
Might be a
I
bit
just think
bumpy.
it's. I think it's a bit rustic and it's a bit French, isn't it? That's what I'm
It's a bit
going
French.
for.
But what you could do is save it all up and give it to the people that do extreme ironing.
Yes.
And then they've got something to iron. So is it true or false? What do
Well,
you
you
reckon?
just said give it to the people that do extreme ironing, so I think it's true.
Oh, are you kidding?
No.
Oh, I gave it away.
You
Well,
did.
I
I
was just
Darren Browned you. I'm like the master of,
Could have been a double bluff.
Yeah. Well, I don't think so. I knew exactly what I was doing, and it was like a form of hypnosis.
Well, you are that good. But
I am.
It is a real sport, is played internationally, and it's described as the latest danger sport that combines the thrills of ironing. No. The thrills of extreme outdoor activity with the satisfaction of a well-pressed shirt.
Oh, for God's sake.
And it's done. They do it in caves, on hillsides with horrific drops. I've seen a picture of people extreme ironing. 3 people, 2 of them holding the board and 1 of them ironing while skydiving.
Oh, for God's sake. How do you iron in a cave? Where's the socket? Where's the electricity supply?
They must have to take their own little generator. I mean, it's all too complicated, isn't it? And
Oh
also,
my
you
God.
could genuinely die while doing it.
It's
really
not how I
worth-
want to go
it's not-
ironing. I don't want to die ironing.
Right, okay, number 2. So you've got 1
Yes.
there. I'm going to try and keep scores. Ha ha.
Ha
Right.
ha.
The number 2. shin kicking.
Shin kicking.
Shin kicking.
Oh, God, I hope that's true. But it hurts to kick a shin. So do you get to wear shin pads? I'm going to say no, but God, I wish that was true.
You cannot be serious.
It's true.
It's true, and it's an English sport.
Of course it is.
Of course it is. The most random are. Competitors face off and proceed to kick the out of one another's shins and force their opponent to the ground. And it was started in the 17th century.
Oh my God. Do you know, sometimes my husband and I like properly wrestle and play fight, almost like, you know, Monica and Ross Geller. And we like really go for, I usually initiate it. It's usually if I've got a bit of rage. But once we were having a wrestle and I kicked and hit my shin off something on Ian. I don't know what it was. But oh my God, I had an indent in my shin and it was there for 2 years.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if it's still there a bit. I used to do kung fu. And my friend, Eleanor, would kick me in the same place on my shin every week. Not because she was being cruel, but because I was so rubbish that every week she did the same move and I completely failed to block her. And I've actually got an indentation in the flesh that has been there since I was 17. And I'm now 35, so it's been a long time.
35, indeed. I know, and you're 6 weeks older than me, and I haven't had my birthday yet, so I'm still 34. Oh, Freudian slip.
Yeah, so it is real. So you can play that if you like.
Wow, what I might do on a sort of a ragey day, definitely.
Yeah, go for it. Not with me, though.
No,
okay,
no.
Number 3, speed sanding.
There's such great visuals. Speed sanding. I'm going to say false because we've had 2 trues.
Well done.
I'm
yes,
flossing.
I came up with that. The winner is actually my husband came up with it. The winner is the person that sands a standard 2x4 plank the fastest by hand using sandpaper.
Well, I think we should start that. I think we should have the limited time only games, and speed sanding should be one of those.
It probably does exist somewhere in the world, doesn't it?
Probably.
Yeah. Okay, number 4, wife carrying.
God.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm just sniggering to myself. Wife carrying. I mean, that sounds very 1600s, doesn't it?
It really does.
So, you know, that's up there with like chasing cheese down a hillside. I'm gonna say true.
It is true. It happens today. It's a Finnish sport, so it was originated in Finland, but it's played globally. Apparently, the Aussies and the Americans are very good at it.
Yes.
In teams of 2, competitors race to see who can finish an obstacle course while carrying their wife on their back.
Wow.
Now, modern day rules, competitors don't have to be married. But yeah, it's absolutely true.
But surely that's the first rule of wife carrying is that you're married.
Well, I think, you've got to move with the times.
Yeah.
But I've seen pictures and the competitors do look very, very buff. And they are wearing proper kit and it's in proper stadiums. So.
Wow. Do you know, you just reminded me that I had a dream about Sandy Toksvig last night. I know she's not Finnish, but I just went to that part of the country. And I love Sandy Toksvig. And I told her that in my dream last night. I was like, Sandy, it's so nice to meet you. I absolutely love you.
Well, maybe you could ask her to be your wife for a wife carrying competition.
Yes. And she's quite small, so I'd carry her. Yeah. Yeah, I'd carry her. Yeah.
Okay, well done. Number 5, duck shearing.
Shearing? You can't shear a duck. You pluck a duck.
Actually, that's better, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm saying that's a no because you pluck a duck. You don't shear a duck. You shear a sheep. You pluck a duck. Have you ever done that tongue twister about plucking ducks? It's really
I have.
Tricky.
Let's not do it.
No, let's
not. It will
not.
go wrong.
But
I am going to say duck plucking or duck shearing is false.
Okay.
Thank goodness to anyone who was worried about the health and safety of the ducks.
Yes.
Okay, number 6, toe wrestling.
I think this is true. I'm sure I've seen this somewhere, maybe on a specialist channel.
Ooh, Sven Goran Eriksson's back.
Sven Goran Eriksson's back and a cheeky girl.
Yay! It is true. It was invented by 4 people down the pub in the 1970s. It's like arm wrestling, but with toes in it. It's not something I'd like to. I can't even. The thought of touching someone else's naked feet with my own, it makes me feel physically sick.
I don't mind other people's feet, and as long as they're sort of clean and, you know, and neatly clipped toenails, and, you know, then I'd touch somebody else's feet. But otherwise,
you could have a serious injury, couldn't you, with an overlong nail?
You could. I've got very bendy toes as well, because I can pick things up with my toes.
That is a nice challenge that I like to do, picking things up with my toes. Yeah.
Well, what's the biggest thing you've picked up with your toes, Suze?
My self-respect. I've just dropped it. No, I don't know. I can't think. I'm trying to pick up a bottle now. I don't think I could do it with one foot. I think probably a pen.
Yes. I can pick up a pen, definitely.
I'm trying to do a mobile phone.
By separating my big toe and my second toe.
Yeah.
Like a
claw.
Can you do it in between your big toe and your second toe?
What, a pen?
Yeah. Yeah, that's because my big toe can bend sort of right back. I'm bending it right back now as we speak. Yeah. We both got bendy big toes.
Bendy big toes. Yeah, I've done it. I've picked it up. And there we go. Okay, number 7 is competitive worm charming.
Competitive worm charming? That's very Harry Potter-esque, isn't it? I'm going to say no.
You cannot be serious.
What?
It's true. There are World Worm Charming Championships. They were started in 1980 in Williston, Cheshire. It's quite simple. You get as many worms out of the ground as possible in the time available.
You get as many worms out of the ground? I sort of saw them as like a snake charmer in a pot, and you've got to get the worm on. It's sort of rising up.
Well, I suppose it must be something to do with, I don't know, moisture maybe. And I've seen pictures of people with specific areas of grass, and they're all gathered round. But the world record stands with the then 10-year-old Sophie Smith, who raised 567 worms in the 2009 British Worm Charming Championship.
That's a lot of worms. Well done, Sophie. I mean, it's very weird, but well done.
There's a lot of worms, Sophie.
It's a bit odd, isn't it?
It's very weird. Can you imagine seeing that many worms in one go? That's freaking me out. We're gonna have to move on. I can't have that image in my head.
No, let's not stay with that thought.
Okay, so number 8 is potato tennis.
Potato tennis. So I'm wondering if that is batting a potato or using the potato as the racket. I'm going to say no. Yay!
It's false.
I'm bad.
No, I made that one up. So I was imagining somebody with a racket hitting a potato.
You could also end up with like diced little potatoes to put in your as it goes through the racket.
That's a good idea, isn't it? Turning food preparation into a sport. Number 9, cardboard tube fighting.
Oh, I mean, this is fun, isn't it? I've done this many a time in my life.
Yeah.
But is it a sport? No, it's not a sport.
You cannot be serious.
What?
It's a sport.
Bloody hell, we make some stuff up, don't we?
It is a gentle form of martial art. I don't know how gentle it is, really, but it's played in Seattle, Washington, San Francisco, and Sydney.
Wow.
Australia.
Oh, my God. You know, I think listening to your sports, I think I could actually be a sportswoman.
Yeah.
I could definitely take part in some of these.
Yeah. I've seen pictures of people wearing cardboard kind of sort of samurai style headgear and outfits, and with cardboard tubes. We all are sports people and athletes worthy of reverence, but we just didn't know it.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the last one.
Okay.
Last one. It's time to redeem yourself because you've got 6 out of 9.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 10, toenail tiddlywinks.
Oh, God. Oh, that's made me a little bit sick in my mouth. I'm going to say no.
Yeah, sorry.
No.
Yeah, well done. It's just too gross, isn't it?
It's too gross. I mean, I don't know what your house is like, but I find toenails all over the place where members of my family have chopped toenails, and then there's like a big thick
pool,
toenail.
a pile.
Oh no, just one random one, and you're like, how the hell did that get there?
Well, they flick off, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
They flick away, especially with clippers.
Yes.
They just kind of disappear.
Yeah, they do.
And
yeah.
It is pretty disgusting.
It is disgusting.
But yes, toenail tiddlywinks, thankfully, do not.
Thank God for
exist.
that. Well, do you know what? I think I would be really good at shin kicking and cardboard tube. So I think I might put my name down for those sports.
Yeah, I think you should.
Yeah.
What did I quite fancy? I quite fancied, none of them really.
No. Wife carrying. Wife carrying with Sandy Toksvig.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that one.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll give her a call now.
Yes, but tell her I love her as well.
I will do.
Thank you.
Well, well done, Esther.
Thank you.
In the inaugural round of Commonwealth Games, or Commonplace Shames, you scored a very respectable 7 out of 10. I think that's a bronze.
Yes. Ah.
Well done.
Yay. Thank you, Suze.
Hi. Welcome to Real Life Gym. I'm Fran, and if you join us today, I'll be your personal trainer and confidant. The things you'll shout when in extreme discomfort don't need repeating twice, I tell you.
Hi, Fran. I'm Kim. Well, I really want to lose some weight and tone up, but I'd like to get more of an idea of what you offer before I sign up. Do you have a Peloton studio?
Well, Kim, we're more about reality than selling a dream of tight buns in lycra bobbing up and down on a bike seat that could split you in two.
Oh.
How can we get you fit on an everyday basis using your everyday activities? It sounds simple, doesn't it? But you do need to pay £80 a month for the privilege.
But I was hoping for some kettlebell classes at least.
Who needs kettlebells when you've got double beds? Just change your sheets every day and you'll soon be lifting enough to tone those dangly underarms.
Step classes?
Good grief, no. A waste of plastic. Far better to just do 2 steps forward and 1 step back when you walk into the shops.
Have you got a swimming pool?
Do bears watch Strictly? No! Next time you're mopping your floor, pop your cosy on and get down there. A little bit of skidding around will do the trick.
This sounds mad. I want to join a community of like-minded people.
We do have a group session on a Tuesday. It's when we all wash the gym windows together for a full body workout. There's even a couple of loud and annoying attendees who have cliquey banter with the instructor, so it does feel more like a traditional aerobics class.
What about social activities?
Oh yeah, on a Friday we all get a curry and a massive cake.
Well, that doesn't sound very healthy.
After all the hard work during the week, we all deserve a treat, don't we, Kim? What's the point of exercising if you can't stuff your face with nan and cream every so often?
Fair point. Sign me up. In your honour, do you know what? Just by having you on today, this morning, I got up early.
Yeah.
I did yoga.
Yeah.
I had a smoothie. I then had a 2-minute cold shower at the end of my shower. And I was like, I just need to talk to Philippa every day. And then I'll become who I want to become. I just known I was going to talk to you.
So we'll schedule a call at 1 o'clock every day. Another,
yeah,
that's it.
Just be a series of interviews with you for a year, and then Esther will be,
buff. Today's guest is the glorious Philippa Excell, known online as Philly Fitness. Philly is a personal trainer and movement professional specialising in women's health and fitness. If you're anything like me, then the words personal trainer conjures up an image of someone telling you to feel the burn and pushing you to your limits. But that's not how Philly works at all. Her work involves yoga, Pilates, resistance bands, strengthening the body. Philly is passionate about helping people recover from injuries through movement and ensuring that we move freely and pain-free as we age. Alongside working as a personal trainer, Philly runs classes from her beautiful home in Henley. Some of her classes include candlelight wind down stretch and release session, which frankly sounds divine. We talked to Philly about movement, nutrition, food, and how simply working on your breathing can change your body dramatically. We also talked to her about her new online platform, Philly Fitness on Demand, which means anyone can access her classes from anywhere in the world. Welcome to the show, Philly Excell.
Thank you so much for taking time out to do this.
Pleasure.
Because you're very busy with everything that you do. And obviously, and you're a mum of 3.
Yes.
Which is
3.
One more than me and Esther. And so I'm like mind blown.
Oh, I know. It is quite full on. But then I think having kids, even one, is just full on, isn't it? It's just that change from having none.
Did you get to 2 and think, wow, we could go again because it's, it's already mental, so we might as well just chuck another one in
I think there was a bit of that, definitely. And I think it was like competitiveness as well.
Okay. Let's see how many we can squeeze out.
Yeah. No, we went on holiday, I remember, Spain or something, and we just had the 2 girls at the time, and they were really well behaved. We had like not normal, basically, amazing. And we were like, oh my God, we're amazing at this. We could totally have another. And then I think we did. And then the rest of the holiday, they were awful. And we got home, we were like, oh, that was a terrible idea. Let's not do that. But it was too late by then. So
Too late.
The seed was planted, literally.
The seed was literally planted. And then we got a little boy, so he's full. So.
Have you always been sporty?
Yeah, I was. So I've never been a gym goer. I don't really like a gym environment. I don't really like being indoors, to be honest. So I would always walk or cycle to Stourbridge. I used to cycle to college, which is, what's that, about 5 miles or something. I was literally the only person that used to do that, or walk miles. And then, so it was mostly just walking, cycling, just being outdoors, just wherever I was going active. I'd make sure I just would either walk or, And then when I moved to London years ago, about 20 years ago, I think I lived in London before, I got into yoga. So I really love that. And that used to just, I don't know, something about, well, you guys like yoga as well, don't you? Yeah, me too. It's just that breathing and working. And that's basically the movement, all the movements that I do now, just really slow, mindful movement with the breath. It just feels really good. Yeah, so I've always really done that. And then I had kids and I had some core and postnatal issues, which is really common. And then so I focused on that. So I had a mommy and baby group about an hour ago, actually, which was sweet.
Wow.
And then and it does remind you actually how hard it is to have a baby, because they just want that bit of time.
Yes,
when there's a baby, and then they're apologizing like, oh, so sorry, my baby's crying. And so I'm just trying to pick up whoever baby looks, who needs that bit of time the most, just not having to hold your baby the whole time and doing a little bit of movement.
But what's so great about that is the fact that it's a safe space for them to come and bring their babies, and then there's no embarrassment. If one baby does kick off, all the other people there, all the other mums there understand that, and that's the place for them to come and get some time to themselves. Yeah, it is. It's really lovely, actually.
When did you start training to do what you do now?
So I was working in London doing lots of yoga and working for a guy in finance, and I was basically his PA, but he was never in the country, so it's the easiest job in the world. I just used to have a BlackBerry, and then as long as I answered my BlackBerry, it didn't really matter where I was, but I was mostly always just doing yoga or walking around. And then I thought, I don't think this job could last forever. So whilst I was working for him, I did a personal training course, and then had kids, and then I specialized in pre and postnatal fitness. And then most recently I've done something called Core Restore. So it is working with moms, but it's also just any movement through injury. So that's what I'm quite passionate about now. So I do have a couple of male people, but it's mostly women, and it's just of all different ages, just trying to do mindful movement. And so if, I have quite a lot of people with bad backs and necks, and just trying to move through that. And I really love that. So it feels like so rewarding, because I think basically we're all getting to this stage where you realize just moving to kind of get thin, which is quite dated now, thankfully. People now just want to move to help them feel better. And actually, if you continue to move, whatever you enjoy, whatever it be, then that's really going to pay benefits down the line. So
yeah, definitely. And because I've noticed like my parents' generation, the mobility issues that are kicking in for a lot of people within my family, and that they're struggling with, and I have a bit of an aversion. I love moving my body. I love doing anything that's like, I don't like going for a run unless I'm in a group of people, and I think I don't like running. But then we went to the cinema the other day, and there were sort of spots on the carpet, and there was no one there. We were all racing each other up the spots, and I was like, now this is fun. This is
exactly
exercise. And the stuff you do, I've done some of your videos online, and they're so, I love the fact that they are slower and they're more mindful, because I was told a few years ago, you need to get in your parasympathetic nervous system more, because you're too much in fight or flight all the time, so you need to get into that. And I love the sort of the slow and precise and mindful movement that you do.
But I think you're competitive, Esther. I know you're competitive. I do.
So a race.
Because I am actually, but
that's why you like the running to the spot thing. So we do that stuff like that. Like, I'm definitely not anti-running at all. Well, some people are anti-running, but no, I would think move, like whatever is you need, and stuff like that is fun, because it's not a chore, is it?
It's just fun,
and that's how it should be, I think. And I think it's exercise can be really quite pretentious, and not very welcoming to all people. Like the gym, obviously, environment is not that welcoming, I think, to some. And I've noticed that I have a lot of, well, I mostly teach women, let's say, and so they've had babies, it's been a long time, and people have just slightly lost their mojo. And to build up the confidence to then come to a class, and quite often at the end of it, some people are quite emotional because they've completely forgotten that it feels nice to be moving, and B, just doing something for themselves. Because like you say, Susie, people get the guilt about, if they give their kid an iPad or stuff like that. And we're always so hard on ourselves. But life's so crazy now, as well, not just for moms, I think definitely for dads as well. But if you can give yourself just that tiny bit of time, I think it makes such a difference for everyone.
I actually had a calf injury last year. It was a tear, and I couldn't do anything for I couldn't properly exercise for at least 6 weeks more. And I was very nervous. And I noticed that I'd stopped wanting to exercise. Yes. I'd lost the drive. Yeah. I've always wanted, and almost had to kind of just, drop everything and I've got to go for a run now because I've just got it. It's like bursting out of me. And I'd lost it, and I was very worried about that. Yeah. So is that, and that can happen, can't it? You kind of, if you lose the drive to do it, then you just sort of, I don't know, stop exercising.
But I think that's the same with everything, isn't it? You know, when you stop doing stuff, like we all stopped doing stuff over lockdown, obviously. And then I remember thinking to myself, God, how did I can't remember how I used to do it all. I can't remember how I used to do that, and then get the kids there. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to do that again. And when you stop, it's so hard to get your mind around the fact that you can do it and you can always make time. And also I think you don't need to spend that much time doing stuff, but even if you have 10 minutes, and just that 10 minutes a day is better than no minutes a day. And then quite often what happens is, that feels actually quite good. Tomorrow I'm going to do it again, and or maybe a little bit more.
And I think, like you were saying as well, it's finding what you enjoy. So my husband loves cycling, and he likes running, and we'll go for a dog walk, and he gets quite bored quite quickly, even though, quite frankly, I'm a hoot.
I can't imagine that.
But he just says it's too slow for me. I find it really boring. I could walk for 24 hours. I love walking. I could walk all day. It's one of my happiest things to do. But in my head, I often say to Susie, I don't class that as exercise. But I'm walking for 90 minutes every day. I'm doing 10,000 steps. And I always think exercise has to be in this sort of prescriptive, I must do this. But actually, it's just moving your body, doing stuff you enjoy, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's a big thing, is that whole thing of punishing your body through fitness. And if you feel like you haven't completely punished yourself, as in like sweaty and and then you're like, that can't be classed as fitness then. And there's that mindset that we've had, that everyone's grown up having, you know, like
no pain, no
work
gain.
Hard, and no pain, no gain, and all that. That whole thing about punishing your body, and that must equate to exercise, and then that equates to losing weight. You know, with the whole diet culture as well. And I think actually, walking every day, if you did that forever, you'd be great, you know. And equally, you're giving yourself that time, you're just like chilling out in your mind. And
I don't think I'm quite chilling out in my mind yet, but I'm usually listening to a podcast or
I know I do that.
I'm like, Esther, just look at the trees.
I know, I was wondering whether I should stop listening to podcasts when I walk, because maybe I should listen to the trees or whatever. But then I was like, but if I do that, then when am I going to fit in all this, you know, because I enjoy a podcast. So it is that whole time you're trying to work out what's the best thing for you, time-wise, I suppose. It's a time thing, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
You do classes in your studio for people to actually come to in Henley. I wish I could.
I know.
Like, it looks brilliant.
It's so nice.
Especially the breakfast one.
The breakfast one was really cool.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, I'm doing that again in a couple of weeks. I mean, the sunshine we've got so we were in London, in pretty much Brixton for 20 years. And we moved the day that we went into the very first lockdown, which was just total coincidence that we were moving that day. So it was like off an action film. Like the removal people were scheduled for that date. And I was like, there's no way they're going to do it. And they were like, we'll honour our last job. But we had to be out of the house. And then we were like driving out of London, and it was like the roads were empty. It was just so weird. anyway, we arrived here and we were like, okay, this is quite nice. And now all I can see for miles is just green all around. But it's taking me, but then I still miss stupid things about London, like the cafes and restaurants. Yeah. Anyway, but we built this lovely studio in the garden. So that's where so we've got a really lovely setting. And Henley's such a nice town. It's really small. So there's a nice community. And I'm really finding that community feel is making me quite happy. And, you know, even just when you're walking out and you're chatting to someone, do you get a really nice feeling from that? It makes you feel so good, doesn't it? Just any old random person I'll chat to be honest. And then, but yes, so then I started doing, so in the winter, I just had this idea that it would be really nice to do these candle-lit wind down sessions. So people would arrive at 7:30 in the evening and we'd completely, so it's dark, it's the winter, and then it was all candle-lit, the journey to the studio from where they parked. And then outside there was all candles, and inside it's almost this wooden studio, so it's really atmospheric, and then with nice smells and stuff. And then basically just some mats, and it could fit 12 people in, and they would just come, and I do breathing exercises and a really slow stretching session for about 45 minutes, and you'd have your eyes closed. And then I'd finish it with this relaxing, like they have eye masks, and then I do a little kind of lavender thing and the breathing exercise. And then we finished with this really nice like chamomile turmeric tea and these little chocolate things. And it became really successful because people were just saying to me, the feedback was that they just really wanted to lie in a dark room and close their eyes and not move. I mean, we did move, and then people were like, oh, I didn't really think we'd be moving. But I think everyone was completely frazzled.
It sounds
idyllic.
It's
so interesting to hear that, though, isn't it? I think 8 years ago, but maybe it's, I'm in my 40s now, but it wasn't just people in the 40s. There's a lot of people in the 30s. And whereas before, I think people would, maybe that wouldn't have been so appealing, but now I think...
Yes, they would have thought it was strange, possibly. Or...
Yeah.
But it's the kind of thing you wouldn't do at home.
Yes.
I wouldn't put candles out and put a lovely face mask online.
Yeah.
I would feel like I didn't have time for that.
Yes.
But if it was somewhere else and with other people, I would feel like I could let myself go.
Allow yourself that time.
Yes, that's it.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is funny.
Did you find that people got emotional with that? Because I cry when I do things like that.
I've had that quite a lot. Yeah, I have had that quite a bit. Have you been watching that Wim Hof with the breathing?
Yes, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I went, we had a lady on last season who we call Guru Sue, and she does like meditations and mindfulness and breath work now. She's breath work trained as well. And I went to a session of hers last Saturday, and I just couldn't to switch off the waterworks. It was just, but it's that thing of I'm so in my head and not in my body.
Yeah.
But when you get into your body, it's almost just a big release, isn't it? And if you feel wonderful afterwards.
Yeah. And I think it's that thing where like people where you're giving yourself that time, and we just we're so time poor that sometimes you feel guilty when you're at home. If you were just at home lying around breathing, I think
you'd be thinking about the dishwasher.
Like your husband might be like, what are you doing? Yeah, or you'd be thinking about the next job, wouldn't you?
It's the distractions that aren't there when you go to somewhere where it's laid out like that.
Oh, well, it'd be nice if you came at some point.
Well, I mean, I'd love to. but the other option is now that you've actually started, you're online, aren't you now?
Yes. Yeah. It's basically going to be a subscription service where it will, there's be a big library of videos that you can choose from. So it will be either, there's a revive section, so it'll be stretches, or 10 minutes, and all of it's no equipment, so just literally your mat. So 10-minute workouts, 30-minute workouts, or there's like a beginner section because I'm trying to be inclusive to everyone. My aim is to get everyone moving and enjoying it. So beginner section, and then there's an advanced section and a core section for people to get back in kind of awareness of their core.
Looks great. I mean, I've looked at your website and looked at Instagram and seen some of the little showing what you do. And I mean, what one I was looking at the other day, you were on all fours, but you had two little pads under your feet. And I was like, that looks that looks really quite fun, but also horrendous. But it's just, I was like, quite, and I did actually get down.
Did you try?
Maybe I could wear some slippy socks. Could I do
With some dusters?
You can use dusters or just socks if you've got a wooden floor. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm going to give it a go.
Give it a go. Yeah, because basically the whole thing is about trying to make it really easy. So you can just, because I do all sorts of different stuff online, movement stuff. And then it's like, right, and now you need this, and then you need that. And I'm like, oh. Whereas if it's just no equipment, and also you can just use your body weight and get a really good workout anyway. So yes, it will all be, and I wanted to make it so inclusive for all and equally for busy lives. So the maximum length of a video is half an hour.
Very exciting.
I'm excited. Yeah, I'm really proud of all the content actually, because all the videos, because I've been teaching for so long now, and I know what kind of works through from when I'm teaching classes. So what people enjoy and what people find hard. I think it's still good to have a challenge. So it's not completely easy, because you feel good once you've had that challenge and you've achieved something. But yeah, all quite mindful movement with breath and just strengthening basically. Yeah,
it's exciting, and we'll put everything about you in the show notes. But I remember a couple of months ago, I saw, it might have been longer actually, but when you were still in London, that there was a woman that had been coming to you, and you'd written that since she'd been coming to you, she'd lost 2 stone and completely overhauled her diet and was just feeling so much better in herself.
Yeah.
And I just thought, things like that must be so rewarding for you, to see somebody transform themselves and make themselves healthier.
Yes, yeah, definitely. I think it doesn't happen automatically, but like you said, people get a bit emotional when they come the first time, and they're like, oh, I forgot that actually this feels quite nice, and I feel really like I've done something for myself. So then that's quite a nice feeling equally. And there is that momentum, and then they're like, I'm going to keep going. And then equally, once they start moving, then you're like, okay, what else? I'm not one of these people that advocates, I'm not a nutritionist at all, but I would just say, I did nutrition course as part of my training, but I think equally we have to think about just making that really simple for people as well. And just, if you just cook everything from scratch, that's all I think you need to do. And just eat 3 meals a day.
So what about fish fingers?
Apart from fish fingers for the kids.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
chicken nuggets?
I can't quite get out of, like, my kids are the ones that.
It's the kid. Yes, it's the ease of cooking for kids. I feel terrible guilt,
even if you
most days.
Oh, that's so hard, isn't it? That's all me and my friends talk about the whole time. Because now I'm thinking, well, I've got to pick them up in now. Oh my God, what am I going to feed them if you leave it too late? Blah blah. And then I've got something on later, and that they will have fish fingers tonight. Fish fingers with the veg on the side.
Oh yeah.
And one of them eats broccoli, the other one eats peas or whatever, and then the other one eats green beans. And
well, that's good. It's all a bit of green, a bit of green.
Yeah. You feel like as long as there's a bit of green there, then that's fine.
Yeah.
But I think for like adults, so if we can, I do tray bakes nearly like all the time. If I'm busy in the week, just whatever veg, and then you can make it really tasty with nuts and fresh herbs. As long as you've got fresh herbs and nuts and things like harissa and tahini in your cupboard, then it will always taste good.
Yeah, it's having it in, isn't it? It's just having the stuff in, that like the store cupboard basics in, and then you can make whatever you want. You can make nice, tasty stuff that's healthy. Yeah.
I know, it's so hard, isn't it? Just having everything.
Yes.
One day I'm going to be this perfect person.
One day we all will. Yeah.
Yes.
But I was looking at client feedback on your website, and I was like, oh my gosh, Philippa just sounds amazing, because the first bit of client feedback says she's got a great sense of humour, so the classes are fun and good humoured and allows us to push ourselves if we collapse into a sweaty heap. There is laughter, a ribald comment, and a steadying hand. And I was like, this sounds fantastic. Ribaldry as well as fitness. I mean, get me down, get me signed up. Can we expect any ribald commentary on the online stuff?
Yeah, otherwise it's boring, isn't it?
Yeah,
you've got to just make it fun and a bit silly, and I don't know, it's the only way I can operate.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Do you have a big dream for it all?
Yeah, well, actually my next thing, so once I've got this out there, then Philly Fitness on Demand, it's called. then I will keep adding on to those videos all the time. So just keep, I suppose everything evolves, doesn't it, once it starts and builds. And then my next thing that I'm going to do a course on is menopause, like movement through the menopause, because, well, I'm 42 now, and I feel like I already feel quite different in my body. I'm not old at all, but just
hormones are changing.
You can tell, like, hormones are changing and stuff's going on. So I just want to be quite armed with that, and that is quite a nice market to get into as well, I think.
We're 2 years older than you. We're both 44, so I can feel hormones changing as well, and just changes in my body. In fact, when you talk about restore your core, I was like, oh yeah, I just have had for the last 2 or 3, no, probably longer actually, 4 years, just this band of fat around my lower belly that just doesn't go anywhere, and I'm like, oh God, I need to go and see Philippa, but I'll do your online stuff.
And actually that's really common. So we're postnatal forever, right, if you've had kids, and then stuff changes, and I think a lot of it is like working with your breath work to kind of strengthen your deep core. It could be as simple as that, but actually that's quite complicated.
Oh, the breathing, I never breathe properly at all. That's probably why I cry whenever I do.
I find it really hard. Do you breathe more into here?
Yes, and then when I go and when I did Guru Sue's meditation thing, I was lying on the floor, and then I realized how little I need to breathe. And I remember once being told by a cognitive behavioral therapist, you're very pressurized with your speech. I have too many thoughts racing through my head that I can't get out quick enough. And I'm always amazed that when I do the breath work, how I just slow down and how little I actually need to breathe when I'm still, and when I just let it happen of its own accord.
Yes.
I think breathing's really tricky.
I think it's really hard. I struggle with that as well, because I basically have this like very bloated tummy, which is really common after having kids, and there's various reasons for that. But yeah, breathing is weirdly like a massive part of it. If you're breathing wrong, you're like, oh my God, but this is something that I do all day. So you're having to like repattern movements that you have done forever, basically.
If I breathe properly, that should sort itself out a bit.
Yeah. And they say, so you could just try doing 5 minutes a day, and then that connection will just eventually start happening. And I suppose it's just trying to take the stress away from it. We're basically really meant to breathe into your ribs. So see your ribs as like an umbrella. So breathing in through your nose, and then as you inhale, your ribs should kind of open like that, and then your tummy should relax, which will then kind of see your core as a canister. So as you breathe in, then your pelvic floor lowers. Can you sit low? And then as you exhale, your deep core comes in and your pelvic floor just lifts. It should be kind of like this, like a canister, and with your ribs kind of, but quite common postnatally, because you've got big baby belly, your ribs get really stuck and trapped. So it's about trying to get that movement back into the ribs. So through doing like lots of twisting, and if you're kind of got quite rounded shoulders, that can affect your rib movement.
So does that mean that your pelvic floor isn't getting engaged with breathing as well? If your rib cage isn't moving as it should, so your pelvic floor is kind of not getting the exercise it should as well? Yeah,
so it should just be going with your breath all day like that, working in synergy with your core. With your breath. But it's also quite a lot down to posture. So say if your pelvis is kind of tilted, so your bum sticks out, which I have, like anterior tilt, or the other way around, where your bum's kind of coming in like a bit more flatter bum, then it could mean that your pelvic floor isn't, because your pelvic floor is like a hammock from your pubic bone to your tailbone, like this. And if it's like you're slightly tilted one way or the other, then it's not at its kind of optimum position like that, you see. So there's all these tiny little things, and you'll be fine if you don't do anything about them. But they could all help if these little changes, and just postural things or breathing things or strengthening.
Yeah.
And lots of twists, like we were just doing with all the moms, just getting them to do loads of twists and opening up their shoulders. Because all that stuff feels nice, right? So trying to do stuff that feels good for your body, so movement, because it can be really confusing as well. And you're like, whoa, what do I do? How do I stand? Where do I breathe? And actually, if you just say, look, do stuff that feels good for your body, and that's generally going to help it. Anyway. So just break it down and have it that simple.
God, that's brilliant. That is it's so
brilliant.
Interesting.
A
lot of the information out there is so, for body movement, is so contradictory. And I am aware that my shoulders have crept forward. So I keep hanging off the door frame to sort of stretch them out a bit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's just fascinating. I didn't know all that. And of course, breath work affects your belly.
Yeah. So if one area is kind of stuck, then. But yeah, with your shoulders, so that's really common. Like we're like this, aren't we? This is me on my phone or pushing a pushchair or over your laptop. So obviously, we're all going to start getting this tightness. So yeah, you're right. Just stretching out your pecs so you can have your hand against the wall and then kind of open your body away from it. But trying to keep your shoulders low. And then just moving your shoulders in as many different kind of ranges as you can. I have something like that I have like a shoulder saver series in my little online thing and stuff for like if you've got a bad neck or sore lower back. And actually those, because my husband was like, are people going to want to do that? And I was like, well, I feel like those are the most, because in my classes sometimes I'm like, oh, should we just spend 10 minutes doing something nice for our shoulders? And everyone's like, yes, please. And I'm always a bit surprised. And then some people now are saying, can we do more of that? Can we do more breath work? And it's not just like, oh, can we do loads of squats and burn our bums and stuff? People do like that as well.
If you've released your shoulders and your neck and you haven't got pain there, you can do all the other stuff with greater ease.
Exactly. Yes. And I'm finding that more. So teaching slightly older people now, like in their like not really old, 50s or 60s, they just want to feel good moving and they don't want to feel crap when they wake up in the morning, basically.
And like you say, it's about mobility as well, isn't it? And I've started like a proper nana. I've started holding my phone up here instead of looking down like that, because I saw something that showed the weight of our head, and constantly doing that, you're going to get so hold your phone up. And so I do that, but I realise it makes me look about 102. Like I can't see.
What did you say?
Yeah.
People will be listening, and I'm sure you'll have inspired lots of our listeners to get moving and hopefully to sign up to your online classes as well. I certainly am going to. If there's one thing people could do today that would get them started on this journey, what would it be?
I would say, honestly, for me, walking. Just walk. I walk my kids, even though you think, oh, but this is a nightmare, blah, blah, I've got to do this. I understand, there's times like I can't pick mine up later walking because one's at one club and blah, blah. Like time-wise, it won't work. But if you can do it in the morning or something, so mine have to walk half an hour to school, and one of them, he was 4 for a long time, and that was honestly quite stressful. So I would be like having to, like drag him or carry him. And I was like, oh God, it'd be so much easier if I just got in the car. But now it's second nature to him, and he's totally fine walking. So, but you get that time that it's like you're gaining time. You've been given the gift of time, and you're moving your body at the same time. So it's just a win-win situation. So if you go into the shops, just walk or ride your bike or move some way. Yeah, you don't always have to just get in the car.
Brilliant. Perfect. And it's all free. That's free.
And it's free. That's another thing. And it's free. Yeah, 100%.
Lovely. Thank you so much. That was brilliant.
Thank you so much. Thanks for coming on, Philly.
Oh, thank you, guys.
You know that phrase, it's not the winning, it's the taking part that counts.
Twaddle.
My thoughts exactly. So this season, we thought we'd spice up your lives with a bit of a competition.
Booyakasha!
There's an actual trophy up for grabs.
Boom! How do we win?
Well, each week we're going to ask a question on the social medias. The best responses will be read out in the following week's episode, and the writer of the very best audience story of the whole season will win the trophy.
Oh, I'd better get writing.
No, Esther, you can't enter.
What? That's absolute
So, Esther.
Yes.
You know, I said earlier that I was going to do a 10k run after only training for 3 weeks.
I do.
Yeah, well, I decided that was a bad idea. So any personal trainers, people who know anything about fitness, just any humans out there who are concerned for my safety, don't worry, I'm not going to try and do that. But what I did do the other day is just scrolling through Instagram, something popped up and I thought, oh, I could have a go at that.
Is it cake eating?
It was cake eating. Yeah, sponsored cake eating. Well, I might have to do that after this, but it was run 100 miles in July. So I thought I could run 100 miles. And July is 31 days long, and a few miles a day. I could fit that in.
It sounds very achievable.
So I signed up, put my name down, did a little blurb for a very, very good charity. And then as I sort of clicked the final button to say, send me my T-shirt, I thought, I better just calculate this, because 100 miles is quite a lot of miles. And on average, when I have been running, which I have to say has got less frequent because I have been a bit busy recently. I know that's no excuse, and I'm intending to do it this afternoon. But on a good week, I was probably running 7K twice a week, or once, twice at a push. So I thought, well, okay, 7K is probably about 5 miles or something, maybe slightly less. So I was like, right, I'll calculate it. So if I did 7K 3 times a week, say, if I was really pushing it, how many miles would I get done in a month?
Oh, yeah.
And the answer was only 75.
Yeah.
So a further almost marathon's worth of miles to run to add on to that. I thought, do you know what, Suze? You've got to give yourself a break here. Because you might actually break. You cannot do it.
And also, you are very busy at the moment, and then trying to put that in as well is quite a thing, isn't it?
I'd just be running all the time.
Yeah.
I wouldn't see...
You'd just be Forrest Gumping all over the place.
I wouldn't see my family. I wouldn't be able to eat. I would have very sore legs.
Yeah.
So I thought, actually, no. Build up to... Maybe next year. Maybe next year. I'm still intending to run a 10K. And it has taken me... So having gone from trying to run couch to 10K, which should take 14 weeks, in 3 weeks, I'm now doing couch to 10K in probably about 27 weeks. But you're
doing it.
I'm doing it, and it's safety first, isn't it, Esther?
Absolutely. I am so the same. I push myself sometimes far too hard. What else can I do? And I can fit that in, and then I can fit that in, and I take on so much, and then you go, oh my God, I can't physically do all this, and then you feel like a failure. So it's being a bit, it's pushing yourself, but not too hard, so that you just, you end up feeling rubbish about yourself or hurting yourself. So I think you're very wise.
Yes, thank you. So, and it's also kind of what Philly was saying when we interviewed her, isn't it? It's not about pushing yourself and doing extreme challenges. It's about moving your body. Yeah. And I think I am aware that I want to move my body more, but I don't need to push my body to...
You need to punish yourself.
Punish it. And I've already had, I've had an injury. I know what that's like, and that means I can't do anything at all. So I'd rather just take it easy and build up. But I think actually 100 miles would be achievable. The main thing about it is time, actually, because running, for me to do 7K, I need an hour because I've got to warm up, and I am doing a little bit of walking in that time. It's only a minute in between each stint, but you've got to warm up for 5 minutes. You've got to cool down for 5 minutes. That's 10 minutes plus the 15 minutes to run. So,
and it's not just that hour. It's the shower afterwards and drying your hair,
and it's the hobbling around for the next 3 days. Everything takes twice as long.
Which you won't have the luxury of hobbling for 3 days because you've got to run again the next day. So
oh gosh, I've got to run again the next probably the afternoon if I was going to try and fit 100 miles in. Oh, but I have to say, since we spoke to Philly, I have signed up for Philly's online classes, Philly on Demand it's called, and it is brilliant. It is just for anyone like me, completely time deprived. It's absolutely perfect because I've been able to do sort of 6-minute workouts, 10-minute workouts that I can just, I'm like, you know what, I really can fit in a 10-minute workout.
Absolutely. And you don't need to change for it either. You don't need to change your clothes. You can just do it, and then you feel brilliant, and it's just sort of exercise snacking, isn't it?
Yeah. And she's lovely. Because she knows the points because obviously she's just talking to you like she's in your house. And she's very gentle, and she knows exactly the points where you might be thinking, oh, this is a bit tricky. So she'll give lots of alternatives, and she's so encouraging. It is like she's there with you. I really recommend it, and I've loved it, and I am building up. There are longer, I've done a 20-minute one. There's quite a few 30 minutes. There's so much stuff on there. I haven't explored it all yet, even.
Brilliant.
So I'm really excited to get into it. And I have noticed my bingo wings receding.
Oh, that's joyous.
Yeah, which is probably one of my main aims. Upper body strength. And it's just strength, really. And and I'm excited. You know, I've enjoyed it, and I'm excited about it. And I'm not running 100 miles.
No.
So
you're doing what you can, and you're very good at taking care of your body, and you've also got to take care of your body, your mind, your family. You know, it's
you.
It's, me. I mean, every day. You know, Suze, I just wouldn't be able to function.
Oh, well, what I'll do next. I mean, the challenge I could set is I could run to you.
Okay.
With a cup of tea and some cake, and then run home.
Gluten-free cake for me.
Yeah, it's a good 400 miles there. Probably a lot longer, actually. 500-mile round trip in August next year.
Do it.
You have been listening to Limited Time Only.
If you've enjoyed this episode, then why don't you share it with someone you think would enjoy it too?
Please like, follow or subscribe so we can pop into your ears on a regular basis.
We'd love to hear your thoughts on the podcast.
Your glowing reviews will help to shape future episodes and help other people to find us.
You can join the Limited Time Only conversation on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram.
And you can email us hello@limitedtimeonlypodcast.com. We'll be back for more next time.
But for now,
Life is like a bag of licorice all sorts.